Home for the NBA on ESPN. I'm Malika Andrews, joined by Chiney Agumake and Mr. Carry-On himself, Kendrick Perkins.
Carry-on.
Yeah.
Who's more in your crosshairs today? Is it James Harden or is it Russell Westbrook?
It's a bad day for the neighborhood, but it's going to be Russell Westbrook.
Oh, no. Well, we'll get into that a little bit more later. But let's start with the Lakers, who gave up a monster second quarter lead in Oklahoma City. So Russell Westbrook and the Lakers visiting the Thunder late in the first quarter. Lakers up 20. Westbrook drives, misses, gets his own rebound here. Puts it up and finishes. Lakers outscored the Thunder 41-19 in the first. Second quarter, Lakers up 23. Rajon Rondo finds a D scoop layup plus the foul. Lakers led by as many as 26 points in the first half, but Oklahoma City, they came back and made a push. So just under 6 minutes left. Thunder down 13. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hits the triple.
Yes, sir.
It's now a 10-point game. So 5 seconds left.
Ooh.
Thunder.
Ooh.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander again nails it off the glass at the buzzer. The Thunder lead 97-95, coming all the way back. So 35 seconds left in the fourth, guys. Derek Favors rolls, finishes down low. So same score, guys. 10 seconds left. Josh Giddey set to inbound the ball.
Love Josh.
Carmelo Anthony steals it here, puts up the three.
Shot an oxygen ball.
Look at this. He had a good look.
That was a great read.
It just comes up a little short, and even Melo had to laugh a little bit, shake his head after that one. So the Lakers are down 120-115. Rajon Rondo inbounding the ball. Darius Bazley steals it. But look at this, guys. Russell Westbrook, he really does not like that. He gets into it with the Thunder. He keeps going. He keeps going, and eventually he gets tossed. An eventful return to OKC for Westbrook in every way. 123-115. The Thunder come back and win. So the Lakers entered Wednesday with a 230-0 record in the last 25 seasons when leading by 25 points in a game, including the playoffs. But that streak came to an end as they collapsed after taking a 26-point lead in the second quarter last night. Russ on the ejection after the game. Take a listen.
How I play the game, and we're old school, and like that happen, I don't let it slide. So, I take it on the chin and move on. But, the game of basketball, certain things you just don't do. Like in baseball, you don't drop the bat, and certain things you just don't do in sports. Game already over, and I didn't like it. Simple as that.
So since turnovers were first tracked in 1977, Perk, Russell Westbrook has now had 6 triple-double performances while also recording at least 10 turnovers. And James Harden is the only other player with multiple such games. The rest of the league has only seen 8 players that have those, what I'm going to call a quadruple trouble. And those 8 guys, I know it's bad. And those 8 guys, he's just had one. So back here with Chiney Agumake and Kendrick Perkins. And Perk, what's the bigger story for you coming into the Lakers last night? Is it the Lakers blowing the 26-point lead, or is it those 10 turnovers for Russell Westbrook?
I know. Y'all know how I feel about Russell Westbrook, right? That's my Brody. That's the homie. But I got a job to do, right? And Russell Westbrook has 30 turnovers this far in the season, averaging 6 a game. He was brought to L.A. for what reason? To win a championship. You cannot win a championship averaging 6 turnovers. You cannot blow a lead, right? Up 26, I believe it was, to Oklahoma City that haven't won the game and have 10 turnovers and be the point guard that's supposed to be the floor general and blow that lead as well. And then the most disappointing thing that happened last night was that Russell Westbrook got ejected, right? And I get it. We have this quote-unquote unwritten rule about, down the stretch, you're not supposed to score the ball.
All right.
But Russell Westbrook has done it too. And here's a clip right here in 2016, right? The Hawks are not trying to foul. I'm saying, listen, look, they have an old saying, there's no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? So, look, if you could dish it out, you got to be able to take it. Nobody on the Hawks mad. Josh Smith showing love. Nobody trying to fight Russ. At the end of the day, look, I got to hold them accountable.
So you're saying Russ is actually leading to that 26-point turnaround. So you're kind of straddling the fence today? Okay. All right.
Perk, I feel you. And the thing that we love about Russ is that he's one of those players where that oscillation is going to happen. You're going to get some games where he has high turnovers. I agree. Averaging 6 for a guy in his position is not good. he has to lower that. But this is a team that's integrating 12 new players. He's being aggressive. I think it's been working for him to some degree. Now, we all know the environment of being back, in Oklahoma City. His emotions were heightened. But the reality is this Lakers team, they're dealing with a lot of change, especially with their stars. AD has been great, but LeBron James not being out. And I would like to say this, LeBron James plays chess when everyone else is playing checkers, especially from the point guard position. He controls the game better than anybody else that we've probably seen in a long time. Russ stepping into the helm of having those Lakers expectations, it's really difficult for him to figure it out on the fly and be productive and make up for LeBron James. And I think that this is important. I have this, thanks to Caesar, we have to look at these numbers when it comes to the narrative, and you check out this graphic. Because Russ, yes, ever since he entered the league, he's #1 in turnovers. But guess who's #2? LeBron James, actually. Just a couple hundred behind. In assists, Russell Westbrook is second overall since he entered the league. Totally. LeBron James is third. The difference is LBJ in that time probably has had 3 championships, right? So the narrative is that he's getting it done and Russ is not, per se. But the reality is LeBron turns the ball over quite a bit. He assists the ball extremely well. Russ does a lot of the same, but now that narrative is following him. And I do think it helps and it hurts him. And last night we saw him hurt.
Yeah, but Sinead, listen, I get all of the 12 new players and I get all that, but we're talking about a veteran ball club. We're not talking about a young team. We're talking about a veteran, right? Russell Westbrook has been to the finals. He knows what it takes. I was on that team. LeBron James has 4 championships, right? So, you think about his turnovers, a lot of turnovers wasn't his fault. Russell has a lot of unforced turnovers. It's a difference. We don't show that stat, but we'll show just the turnovers and not the unforced turnovers.
And I think the part that I'm sort of pushing back on is giving him a little bit of grace at the start. Okay. Now, if we see these 6, 7, 8 in about 10 games from now, all right, I'm going to put on the heat. But he's dealing with a lot, and I think the way he does it is by playing so aggressive, and it's worked for them in instances, but it comes with Russ. You know how that goes.
Right.
Highs and lows, but you're right. He has to be consistent for this team, the Lakers, that are full of veterans.
Well, and when you go into Staples Center and you're talking to folks around the Lakers, they say, all right, give us patience. Give us a little bit of time. We're going to need a little bit of time to get this together. But the Lakers are now 2-3 without LeBron. They also have Anthony Davis hobbling a little bit. So, Chiney, what are going to be the keys to kind of turning this around?
I think they need to find control. They got to stop. First of all, I love the accountability that the Lakers had. AD said, look, this is not like a crutch game or something like that. This loss has woken us up in the point where we have to make sure we value each and every game, which is hard, Perk, throughout an 82-game NBA regular season. And so I think the accountability and also the control, you're right. Russ lost a lot of control personally with his emotions and also with his play. Now it's like, all right, we've seen the worst of this situation, losing to a winless Thunder team. How do we make the best of it?
26.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Coach BP? Coach BP?
Yeah, that's cool. But I think the Lakers got to rely a little bit more on that youth, right? Like, I think Anthony Davis, LeBron James said when he got to L.A., when him and Anthony Davis paired up, that he was going to run everything through Anthony Davis.
Right. True.
Don't switch up now. Like, Anthony Davis is the guy that is still in his prime, really, like at the prime of his prime. So don't switch up now. And I think you have to rely on Mark a little bit more. Like,
he's been playing really
like Kent Bazemore, I kind of, be trying to roll with him a little bit, but he still makes those bonehead decisions at times that are very, very questionable, especially for a veteran.
Perk
I'm serious.
doesn't mince words.
I know.
Huh?
You said, Perk, you don't mince words.
I mean, just think about it. Even in the game against Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, he had that late foul, and luckily Ja Morant missed the last free throw. It would have went into overtime, and Memphis had the momentum, really.
Right, absolutely. Well, and it seemed like, maybe they would have been relying a little bit differently on youth if they had Talen Horton-Tucker or someone like that out there right now, but they're injured. And speaking of injuries, I do want to check in with senior insider Adrian Wojnarowski, who's joining us now to get an update on LeBron James. Hi, Woj. Thanks for joining us. What's the latest on LeBron?
Malika, I'm told there's some optimism that LeBron James will be able to return to the Lakers lineup Friday against the Cavaliers. Obviously, he missed their games in San Antonio, the loss at Oklahoma City last night. But that there's optimism that sore ankle, it certainly has improved, and that he can be back on the court against a very improved Cavalier team.
So potentially some optimism you're reporting for Friday against the Cavs. Another injury woj that you're monitoring is reigning MVP Nikola Jokic, who banged knees with Rudy Gobert on Tuesday night. How are the Nuggets moving forward without Jokic? What can you tell us there?
Malika, same word I heard around Denver today on Nikola Jokic's return. Optimism that it could be as soon as this back-to-back this weekend. They've got the Mavericks on ESPN Friday night, and then they go to Minnesota, which is playing very well right now, on Saturday night, that he can be back as soon as this weekend. He did not practice today, but as you said, Malika, no structural damage to that knee. It's soreness, and they're hopeful that they can have him back as soon as this weekend.
Thank you so much for the update, Woj. I really, really appreciate you stopping
Thanks,
by.
Malika.
All right, guys, coming up on NBA Today, James Harden's early season struggles continue in Brooklyn. How much does not getting to the line impact him? Perk shares some answers, and Giannis is already the best center in the NBA. We chop it or drop it with a special guest, plus an epic...
Live from Los Angeles.
We are in Los Angeles. I am Malika Andrews, joined by Kendrick Perkins and Chiney Agumake. Do y'all want to go to Brooklyn?
Yes,
Let's do it! Headed to Brooklyn, where James Harden and the Nets were in action against the Heat. Harden is still getting used to the new foul rules. So this is early in the game. Drives, Kyle Lowry.
That's some contact.
Throws up a shot. No fouls called, though, Chiney. So then later in the first, Harden tries to drive here. Check out Jimmy Butler. Okay, but Jimmy pokes the ball away. Harden was searching for a foul there. Watch it again. Butler, that looked like clean steal. Ooh, but the arm. All right. Well, later in the first half, Harden drives to the hoop, makes slight contact with Lowry here, and loses the ball out of bounds. Another no call for Harden. James finished with 14 points and 4 turnovers. So in the fourth quarter, the Heat are up 4. Lowry. Look at this here. He finds Bam Adebayo.
Yes.
Big dunk for Adebayo. The Heat are up 6.
1-3, baby.
So the Nets are still trailing by 6 halfway through the fourth. Kevin Durant does what he does, hits the deep 3. And check out Miss Wanda. She likes it.
We love you, Wanda.
He had 25 points, under 4 minutes to go. Miami up 7. Jimmy Butler misses the layup, but Bam Adebayo for the putback dunk. Adebayo finished with 24 points, and the Heat go on to win it.
The communication, I asked Coach about this a little bit earlier, and he talked about how everybody's adjusting to the way the game is being officiated. What's been the communication like? Is everybody, again, both teams around the league, get adjusted to how things are being called?
I don't know. Can answer that. As much as I want to get back to just, 30s and 40 points, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't do that, you know what I mean? As much as I want to, I had no opportunities to play pickup or nothing this summer, you know what I mean? Everything was a rehab for 3 months from a grade 2 injury that happened three times in one season. So as much as I want to rush the process and be back to, hooping and killing, it's like, I'll take the time. But this is always going to make me stronger at the end of the season.
Shout out to Michael Grady for the question. A lot to unpack here with the Nets and the Heat. And Perk, you hit the group text last night, and you sent a link to the James Harden postgame sound we heard. You woke Chiney up from her nap. She said she was taking a nap at like 8 o'clock. She said it was her pre-sleep, and I'm not even going to get into that.
Pre-sleep, I love it.
What's your reaction to Harden's rationale here? Ooh, big exhale.
You know what? Let me say this, right? For James Harden, when we're talking about the new officiating, right, and how the NBA is being officiating right now, the fans love it, right? And James Harden is one of the most prolific scorers in the NBA.
Yes.
Okay, so when you look at the guys that get buckets, when you look at Steph Curry, it haven't affected him. When you look at Kevin Durant, it haven't affected him. When you look at Trae Young, it haven't affected him, right? But it affected James Harden. Why? Because you might want to look at your coach, Steve Nash. He's the one that pointed it out when y'all were battling against Trae Young, and he was the one that was complaining. See, everybody want to talk about it's the officials, but little do they know it's the coaches that come up with that. It's the coaches that come up and sign off on these certain rule changes. So, the thing is about James Harden is right now he's struggling, and I just feel like that Kevin Durant need him the most, especially with Kyrie Irving being out. And right now, James Harden is just not there. it's not scary hours. It might be weary hours.
Even though Halloween is coming, it's not scary. It's a little weary. We're not shook. We're not scared.
You a fan of candy corn? Because I am.
Candy corn? No. So, wait, what? Malika? What? Malika likes candy corn?
Like section by section, color by color. All right, today, what do you think of what Perk just said?
You know, I think some of the issues that James Harden is having, and he alluded to this after the game, his hamstring lingering over. And we know as athletes, hamstrings are the most, one of the more tricky injuries. They just linger. You could feel good. You work out for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden I was like, it's nagging again. And he did say that, hey, I was not able to play pickup, during the offseason, which to a hooper, that's our air. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
if
your candy corn.
That's your rhythm. And so I'm not surprised if he's not playing pickup. The season starts. He's trying to find his groove. He's dealing with his hamstring. And Kyrie, who's supposed to take some of that perimeter off-ball responsibility off of him so he can breathe and get a few more breaks. I think that this is an accumulation of probably a really rough start for him.
Yeah, and that what you said about feeling good and then not feeling good could explain why, at the beginning of the season, James Harden told me I feel as well as I've ever felt. And then it's like, all right, now I get on the court.
You got a couple practices.
So let's talk about the team that won the game then, the Heat. Perk. Miami is 3-1 on the season. 3-1. What impressed you the most so far about them?
It's their defense and their tenacity. When you look at the Miami Heat, look, I said this before the season started, that they're my dark horse team to win the championship. I would not be surprised if they're holding up the trophy after this season. When you look at their starting five, I call them goons from Dade County. You already had Jimmy Butler. You already had Bam out of the Bayou. I know I messed his name up. But it's all good. And then you add Kyle Lowry along with P.J. Tucker. This is the best defensive team in the NBA. And then they're well coached by one of the top coaches in the NBA in Eric Spoelstra.
Well, if we're talking about top, if you're saying Eric Spoelstra is one of the top coaches, shout out the University of Portland. We need to teach you, Perk, about a new game that we started since the last time you were here. It's called the Top of the Top.
Oh, it's fun.
Can you guys kind of join me over here?
Of course.
All right. So the Top of the Top, Perk. It's where we highlight the top plays, the top moments from around the league. So today's Top of the Top, we're going to go over the top moments from last night's slate. You ready?
All right. Let's get it.
You ready? Let's get it. All right, top poster. We're starting with Colin Sexton, who usually saves his best dunks for his left hand.
Oh!
Yikes.
They call him the young bull for a reason.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
And over 6'9" Nicholas Batum.
That was filthy.
Ooh.
I love it. Oh, good photo.
You putting that on a poster?
Good photo.
You putting that on a poster in your room?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too many posters, but I know I'm on a few people posters.
Oh.
Perk. All right, top combo, C.J. McCollum. Look, poor Brandon Clark.
Oh, Jimmy. Yes, pump fake. Yes, twist. What? Y'all see the pivot?
My goodness.
Crossover, tween, cross, heavy. Look at that, pump fake, 360.
CJ, why you gotta do him like that?
You know what that's called? It's called skills and drills.
That's called Birkin bag.
Oh my
He's not in just a bag, he's in his Birkin.
That is Birkin bag. You gotta get on a list for that.
He's in his Birkin.
You have to be asked to have a Birkin bag. You have to be asked for that.
Very
All right,
true.
but that wasn't the top crossover. Let's take a look at the top crossover. That belongs to Cole Anthony.
Let me see this. Ooh.
Ooh.
All
right.
Yeah.
Screen helped a bit.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, this
by LaMelo.
I like that. But, it's kind of hard for the defender because he's trying to force it into the screen, but Cole Anthony has really been balling.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's been on one.
All right. Look at a little look. All right. Top game winner. It goes to Harrison Barnes, who has been balling this season. Take a look at this.
Fun fact.
Look at this.
Same McDonald's All-American class.
Clutch.
Yeah, HB.
There's nothing Devin Booker was right in his face.
Yeah, ain't
right
nothing you could do about that. Nothing you could do about that.
That's textbook defense, and Harrison just an inch of room. Look at Buddy Hield.
I love it.
A little light
Happy.
celebration.
I love it. I love it so much. All right, well, so last time that you were here, Perk, we want to give you another chance at the game win.
Oh!
We want to give you another chance at the
Where's
game
my ball?
winner.
Where's
the ball at?
We know
I'll
it
hit you
didn't
with the
go
clean.
how we wanted it to last time. Let's see.
Let's go,
Buzzer
Big Potter.
beater. All right,
see that.
inbound pass. He got 3 seconds. We got 2 seconds. He
Let's
got
go.
the hoop.
You ain't gonna set me up. I'm gonna go into my bag on now.
Birkin bag.
That's how you up the.
And that was an and one.
And one, son.
Yeah.
Welcome back to NBA Today here with Chanae and Big Perk, and we're about to debut a new game here on the show. But first, I wanted to ask you something, Perk. You just started a new podcast with Marcus Spears, aka Swag.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the podcast?
You know, first of all, it's two countries.
Wait, we hear too much from you too often. I think we should go to a special guest. Should we?
Do we have someone else?
Do we have someone
What's
else?
going on?
Wait, do we have a surprise for you?
Hey! There you go, my brother from the sandbox.
So what is this podcast all about? What's up, Swagoo?
Hey,
Thanks for joining
Swagoo.
us. The NFL Live extraordinaire, but we're doing a little crossover today. A little crossover. What's the best part of the podcast?
No doubt, y'all. First of all, y'all killing it. I love to see y'all up there, family, and thank you for having me in your humble abode today. Listen, the podcast is the podcast is what me and Perk do all the time. We talk a lot of bleak. Okay? We talk about real life. We talk about his game, my game. We do our thing, man. That's the bro. A lot of people don't know. I've been knowing Perk since the year 2000. We go that far back. So it's not just two dudes that got on TV and hooked up. We actually been knowing each other for a long time.
I love it. Well, since we have you here, Swagoo, we want to introduce you as well to a new game, and we're going to call it Chop It or Drop It. So I'm going to give you guys some topics, and if you want to talk about it, then we chop it up, and if you don't, you say we drop it. Everyone, we ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. First up, in 2 games, Giannis has started at center for the Bucks. He's averaged 35 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. Would Giannis be best at center if he continued to start at the 5? Chop it up or drop it, Chanae.
I'm going to say chop it up.
All right.
I love championship teams have to reinvent themselves, and by putting Giannis in the center position, making that his strength, and everyone else around him knocking down shots, I love that move. You got to keep it fresh if you want to win another one, right, Perk?
I do. Right. And I think when you move Giannis to the 5 position, guess what? You're putting him in the best position to be what? Successful. And that's what he's doing right now. He's dominating. He's the most dominant player in the league. He's athletic. He's 7 foot, strong as an ox. And we heard what Anthony Edwards had to say about him yesterday.
What do you think, Swagoo?
I'm listening to both of y'all. I'm listening to both of y'all tell all these lies. Giannis is 1 through 5. Okay? Don't label that man no center. Don't label that man no guard. Label Giannis a literal buck. That's what he is, man, because everything on the court, especially now that he's shooting the rock like he's doing it, it's unstoppable. I don't want to label him as a center because it diminishes, I think, a lot of other stuff that he does.
All right, point center, shooting guard, 1 through 5, Giannis. So next up, the NBA has changed the rules regarding natural shooting motion, and James Harden has struggled, as we talked about, because of this change. Is this the best rule change the NBA has ever seen? Chop it or drop it, Perk?
I want to chop it up, and I think it is because it's good for the game of basketball, right? It shows like who's going to go out there and get it out the mud. No more ticky-tack fouls, fooling the refs to get 30 points, but getting 20 of them at the free throw line.
I'm going to drop it. It's free throws. We're like 5 games in. I'm good.
All right, she dropped it like a hot potato, Marcus.
Look at that.
I like it. It gets the NBA back to being physical. Everybody always talking about the league soft and dudes don't really ball like they used to. LeBron couldn't play in the 90s. AD couldn't do what he wanted to do in the 90s. Now you got to play physical when you go to the hole. I love it.
And that was the idea, to even it up on offense and defense, right? All right, next, the Celtics are 0-2 at home and 2-3 on the season. Are the C's struggles a cause for concern? Chop it or drop it, Perk?
I'm going to drop it.
All right.
All because I'm a homer and I'm not about to address Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I'm going to drop it. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, we drop it.
All right.
I drop it just because as long as I see their highlights and they're progressing, which, it's hard to start the season with that momentum, but JB's been good. He's been all right. But drop it.
That dunk was all right.
Thank
Marcus, we dropping it?
Yeah, we could drop it. It's still early. They'll get it together. It's the Celtics.
All right, we're dropping it. Lastly, Udonis Haslem, OG, has Tyler Hero's back when Hero said he should be considered in the same ranks as Luka and Trae Young. chop it or drop it. Janae.
Let's chop it up. I mean, Tyler Hero, he wanted all the smoke. You know, before the season started, he said, I need to be in these ranks. And everyone's like, oh, we saw what happened last season. And he has delivered. I love this Miami Heat squad. I mean, we talk about Jimmy getting the new addition, Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker. I'm a huge fan of Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
1-3. But Tyler off the bench, like, he's been saucing dudes. So, yeah, I love the energy. He set expectations for himself publicly, and he's so far delivered.
Yeah, I want to chop it up. I mean, because, look, Tyler Hero put this pressure on himself, and he also made me look bad last year. He made me look bad because I picked him to make the All-Star game for the first time, and when he got in the starting lineup, he didn't deliver. I like that he came back this season. He talked his talk, and he's backing it up right now. Look.
Hey, listen, he hooping and he has that type of skill set. But listen, I want Oprah money. I don't have it yet, damn it. And until he do it in the crunch time moments like Luka and Trey, and obviously him coming off the bench. Look, to average 20 coming off the bench, that's a big deal. We know Tyler can hoop, but don't say that just yet, young fella, because they've done it in the playoffs, and y'all really know that's how we judge players.
Hold on, Swagoo. You forgot about the snow?
the
you know what
bubble.
I'm saying? The bubble Tyler Hero when he was giving work.
Tyler
He
Hero.
went to the finals now. Look What's
Hey,
up?
last year, I heard y'all go crazy about Trae Young performing, especially in Madison Square Garden in the playoffs, carrying his team. I know what Luka did. We all was texting and tweeting and IGing when Luka was going crazy for the Mavs in the playoffs. I believe Tyler Hero can do that. Don't get me wrong. He's not afforded that opportunity. But right now, let's not say that because we forget what the other two did in the playoffs, carrying their teams
I mean,
as opposed to being
they
a piece.
did it in the playoffs, but Udonis Haslam's point was, hey, this isn't the same for those types of guys. There was a different expectation for them. Tyler Hero came into a team that had multiple stars and then went to the finals and did all right. All right, Marcus Spears, Swagoo, thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey.
What can we expect on NFL Live coming up right after our show?
You gonna kick your feet
Oh,
up?
y'all know we talking about Thursday night, Aaron Rodgers, Arizona. We got a whole bunch of football, y'all. I'm going to probably say damn like 30 times. I'm going to be mad at Dan Orlovsky, and then I'm going to watch y'all tomorrow chop it up.
I don't know. Dan Orlovsky's suits, though, there's something else. I appreciate you stopping by. All right, coming up right here, next on NBA Today, two of the most storied NBA franchises go toe-to-toe. Down at 7 o'clock Eastern. All right. Good big man matchup last night in Milwaukee. Good thing we've got a couple of post players with me to break it down. Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. Just over 3 minutes left. Bucks down 9. Oh! Giannis Antetokounmpo. All right, Bucks down 7 now. A minute later, Bucks down 10. Giannis drives, misses, but gets his own rebound and slams it down. So the Bucks trail by 8 at the half. So in the third quarter, Timberwolves up 8. Towns finds D'Angelo Russell. Nails the three. Russell would finish with 29 points and 6 assists. Timberwolves up 11. Towns backs down Giannis, hits the baby hook. The Timberwolves are cruising now. They're up 18. 2 minutes left. Fourth quarter. Bucks within 9. Giannis finds George Hill. George Hill does what he does, nails the three. Bucks down 6. 30 seconds later, Chris Middleton. He misses the layup, but he gets his own rebound and tips it back in. So the Bucks are within 4 now. Less than a minute later, Middleton. Tough corner 2. He did that in the finals. Bucks down corner 2 now.
Yes, sir.
Ensuing Timberwolves possession, Anthony Edwards. Go ahead, Rook. Edwards finished the night with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and the Timberwolves beat the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, with a guy like that, you can't stress about him scoring. Like, that's what he gonna do. I mean, Sam 280 pounds. Like, ain't nothing you can do about it. Like, we put 4 people on him. But will he still score the ball? I need Brook to get back. Brook, I don't know. Maybe you're at home right now. Brook, please come back. Need you to rebound the ball, brother.
Wait, how can you not listen to that plea, Brooke? So Giannis wants Brook back, but I want to talk about this Bucks team with Giannis at center. Janae. What are you seeing?
I like this. And you know what we love about Giannis Antetokounmpo is that each year he gets better. So let's break it down. Give me the tape, quite cool, baby. Give me the tape. All right, watch this play. In the half court, Giannis, this is his bag, all right? You've got a similar matchup in size and strength, but guess what? On anyone in the NBA, he can do just that. Now let's go open court, okay? In transition, Giannis is so great at this as well. Talk about rebounds. He can get rebounds, but watch how shifty Giannis is right here. So quick in the left, brings it to his right. Bam! Takes the contact. He's not complaining about the foul, y'all. Now, this is the area of growth perk, reading the secondary defense, right? Now he's reading, and this is what is allowing the Bucks to be very successful. George Hill gets the ball after he draws a double team, kicks it over to Pat Connaughton, big money.
6 dimes right
Planet
now.
Pat.
Exactly. And then again, look at how many people are looking at Giannis, how much he drives, draws and appreciates. And next thing you know, Grayson Allen, bam, nice little single move. This is the area of growth for Giannis. We know what he can do in the half court and also in full court.
Right.
But now the next level of his game is being able to distribute and make his team better. And they have the comfort level, right, Perk? Now that they won a championship, they feel good. Those shots are so much easier to make.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he has the confidence.
Yeah.
And like I said before, Giannis is the most dominant player in the NBA. In my opinion, he's the best player in the NBA.
Well, what I loved about that last play that you just showed is on the Bucks practice facility court. They actually have 5 squares on the floor outside of their 3-point line for guys to go to their boxes,
Space.
right? And then for Giannis to cut into the middle so that he's creating that space that they have literally drawn onto their court. They've literally drawn that onto their court. But Perk, you were really high on the Timberwolves at the start of the season. What have you seen from Cat? Big man to big man.
Ooh, I was high on them because of Anthony Edwards, but when we talk about Karl Anthony Towns, freeze it. That play right there was supposed to be a cross screen, but he read it, he sealed, he snatched the screws out the rim. Check this out. I'm anchoring the defense. I'm contesting everything at the rim. We have a saying in the NBA, don't hope they miss, make them miss. Look at the big fella running them size 21s. Them size 21s. He's feeling himself right now. Playing the dunker spot, getting down low. We know he
taking the contact.
Nice little shoulder into the chest, get the creation,
Just
take
like
the
this?
jump hook.
That was a pretty good. That was a pretty good replay of that right there.
Yeah.
So you think this is a step of growth for Karl Anthony Towns, or just building on the bag that he already had?
Well, it's building on the bag. We know last year he got comfortable with shooting the 3-point shot, right? And then he went through so much last year. He looks like has a clear mind. He looked like he is leaving it on the court. And once again, to a basketball player, it looked like it's his sanctuary.
Okay, so do you have them, Perk, as a playoff team this year?
You know what? I do have them as a playoff team. In the West. Anthony Edwards came out after they last loss and said, we have to be better. And what did they do? They went down to Milwaukee, the team that won the championship last year, and got a win in a hostile environment.
I mean, Janae, can you?
I'm here for Perk.
All right.
First of all,
I'm here for Perk.
We got to talk about 2 post players doing their thing and teams trending in the right direction. I'm here for this.
All right. Well, this play right here costs more than 80% of bettors' money on this Bradley Beal. Perk, I hope that we're going to discuss more on this next.
Come on, Brad.
It's hard to watch. It really is.
It's tough.
You
But laugh it off.
Yeah. The Knicks and Bulls have been 2 of the top teams in the league this season. Chicago enters as one of 3 teams without a loss, while the Knicks have only dropped 1 of their 4 games. Both rank in the top 5 in net efficiency, and the Bulls lead the league in 3-point percentage. And before our wonderful viewers tell me to pump the brakes, yes, the Bulls have had the easiest schedule in the league thus far, and the Knicks have had the second easiest. They're tied for the second easiest. But as one Bulls staffer told me, you got to beat the team that's in front of you.
Amen.
These have been the teams that have been in front of you. And this is the first time these 2 teams have played each other while both having winning records since April 11th, 2013. So, Chiney, What are you most looking forward to about this matchup?
I love strength on strength matchup. So you've got the strength of the Knicks defense, flex on Malika, versus now this new look Bulls offense that is, as you mentioned, best in the league from 3-point percentage. I think it's 42% from three that they're shooting. But Perk, I know you love the defense that the Bulls have brought.
I do.
You know, I love their tenacity. I tell you, it's very rare that you see highlights offensively, but each guy is switchable, each guy is coachable, and each guy is getting making improvements. This group that they have formed seems to really be working. And yes, Malika, you're right. The opponents, you might be a win is a win. We know that as a pro.
Yeah, and we can't talk about opponents. The season just started, right? We don't know who's good and who's not. But at the end of the day, look, I'm looking forward to just the grittiness, right? And going into the United Center is one of the hardest places to play in. I don't know why, but it is, right? And so when you look at the Bulls, I want to give a shout out to Billy Donovan because he really has those guys tied on the string. Now, when you move over to the Knicks, I'm looking forward to seeing if Julius Randle could take his game on the road. Last year, he struggled big time in the United Center, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. And then you know how Tom Thibodeau do it. Tom Thibodeau is all about coaching. Shout out to Tibbs. You know we won a ring together, but let me tell you something about Tibbs.
Light flex.
When you think about Tibbs, Tibbs is a guy that comes in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning and he leaves at 9 at night. He is one of the head coaches that does his own defensive scouting report, and also on top of that, he knows every single player in the league tendencies. Ooh. Every single player. You don't get that from a head coach.
Well, and for every single player in the league, if you ask Robin Lopez, the reason why it's hard to play in United Center is Benny the Bull. But with more on the Bulls-Knicks game from a betting perspective, I want to welcome in ESPN's daily wager betting analyst,
hey,
Tyler.
Oh, God.
Tyler, what stands out to you for tonight's Bulls-Knicks game?
A couple of things. Shanae touched on a little bit. The defense, we know Tibbs plays that, but the Bulls are heavy in that regard. And throwing back to the 90s as well, the pace of these two teams, bottom 5 in the NBA. But one thing where they are modern, it's the three-point shooting. Shanae touched on the Bulls being at 42%, best in the league. How about the Knicks chucking it like the old school Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets? They are taking and making more triples than any team in the league. The Knicks at 46 attempts. For perspective, Steph and the boys at Golden State only taking 36 attempts per game. So whoever wins the three-point line tonight, or whoever plays better defense, I'm thinking might win this game. I'm going under, though, at 216.
All right, Tyler, so quickly, what's a prop bet that Perk should be taking?
Yes, tell me.
All right, Perk, I know you don't like to wait for your lettuce. You want it to happen in the first 24 minutes.
Right,
but
I'm a first half type of guy.
I'm going to give you a full game prop. I just said no team shoots more triples and makes more triples than the New York Knicks. How about Evan Fournier over 2.5 made threes? He has gone over this mark in all but one game this season. He's shooting 46% from downtown, Perk. The guy's been money. He's out there 30, 35 minutes every night for Tibbs. He's averaging 9 attempts per game. So even if he falls off his shooting consistency of 46%, as long as he takes those 9, he can shoot 33%, knock down 3, and you're a winner at plus money, which means wager 100 to win back 105. So you put 205 in your bank total.
Well, it sounds like yes, it sounds like he's going to do it.
I like that.
All right, Tyler. Before we let you go, Bradley Beal cost a lot of people money with this play right here.
Yeah, Malika, this is tough. If you were betting the over, like Perk, this is a first half bet. You see if you do the math there real quick, 62 plus 52 is 114. I believe the total closed at 115. So that money right there for Brad Beal, if he makes that, 79% of the bettors who went over in this game for the first half would have cashed. Instead, those two misses means 79% of the first half over bettors are going home with the L on their forehead, fellas and ladies.
Maybe, Tyler, this teaches Perk that sometimes you got to stay awake for the second half. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today, Tyler. We will talk to you soon. Tyler's best bet for the Knicks Bulls 2 props run. We're going through. Thank you so much, Tyler. I appreciate it. Coming up on NBA Today, one of the league's top 75 players ever made his NBA